Hey guys, so I'm just wrapping up from the gym. Hold on. I see two guys walking in there and they just closed. Where I am, the Planet Fitness locations where I am, they close at 9 p.m. on Friday evenings. And yeah, I mean, it's Friday, so they just closed. Oh, I feel bad. Here they come back out. How do you not know that by now, though? Like, are they like brand new or something? It's been like this for a while. It really sucks. And then tomorrow, on Saturday and Sunday, they close at 7 p.m. and they don't open until 7 a.m. in the morning. And yeah, they used to be 24 hours all throughout the week, 24/7, all the time, pre-COVID. Those were the days, guys. Seriously. For people like me also, especially, I feel like it's like when you're single and all alone in the world with nowhere to go and no one to turn to for anything. To have places that are open 24/7, especially a gym like this with showers and like, you know, facilities and stuff, water. It's such a difference to have that versus not, you know. And yeah, also where I am and where a lot of people probably are, a lot of places, you know, the winters are just brutal beyond belief. It's so funny to me to think about people that have lived like down south somewhere warm without ever experiencing what a real harsh winter is really like. To me, I just feel like winter and menstruation are like some of the worst things a person could ever experience on this earth. Obviously, I know there's like plenty of other things that are worse than those things, but just for me, like the things that I've struggled with the most, like there's been so many other things I've struggled with, but as far as consistently just like non-stop, just like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then yeah, now like I still haven't started my period, so being late for your period when you're not sexually active, when you have absolutely no sources of pleasure in your life and no sexual activity whatsoever, other than doing lap dances and trying to make a buck, barely making a living that way, and then still having to worry about pregnancy scares just because of doing a stupid lap dance. And granted, my lap dances are practically air dances. They're not even like grinding or like very much contact. So the way my brain works, I've gone through so much trauma in my life. I'm like, did somebody break into my apartment in the middle of the night and do something, like drug me? That's the way my brain works, unfortunately. And yeah, also with that, I barricade the door. The locks are like, I mean, there's boxes and boxes, heavy boxes piled in front of the doors, to where I would want to think if somebody tried to come in there, I would hear them at least. But anyways, it's just, yeah, like every single winter, especially every time we have a big snowstorm, which is very often, I'm always just like not praying necessarily, because like I don't do that. But like I'm just really hoping that at least the storms that we get, if we can just get them not on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday night. Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, if the power goes out, there's no gym to go to. There's nowhere to go. And I pretty much am, it's like an instant panic attack for me when the power goes out at night. You know, especially in the winter time at my place. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, I'm the kind of person where, you know, like in survival situations, like in movies, like some people want to stay where they are and some people want to go out and like look for help. I'm a very restless person. Like I have a very restless spirit. So I always wondered which type of person I would be like for a while, but by now I feel like I know, like by now I realize like I'm the type of person that would in most cases like want to go out and like look for help. I can't just stay where I am. Well, for me now, a big part of that is I really am not comfortable and I don't feel safe where I am. I don't feel safe where I am at all. Not in the slightest bit. Like just yesterday, the power went out. And I mean, it's not even, obviously like right now it's summer. There was like a very mild lightning storm. So the power going out at that time was just like BS. Like it was just to mess with me, I'm pretty sure. But I remember like, you know, me being how I am, I try to turn it into a positive any way that I can think. So I ended up going to the gym yesterday as well. And yesterday when I went, and actually today when I went too, this happens all the time, by the way. There are these big ass heavy boxes pretty much blocking the doorway. So I'm on an upper floor, so I have to take some stairs to go down to the main like lobby like the main doorway area where it's like the lobby entrance to go outside. And this happens so frequently. There's always like whoever delivers the mail. I haven't complained about this yet because I try not to be a Karen. I try not to complain about stuff like to people like that, but it does drive me nuts because, and yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like they do it on purpose. There's these big heavy boxes, and rather than put them off to the side, which I end up doing that myself. I always end up moving them away from the doorway because I pretty much have to in order to get out. But it's like they're purposely blocking the doorway to where if the power was out and you couldn't see very well, you could like trip, get hurt, like stumbling into them. Like it's a safety hazard. I know that probably sounds ridiculous, but technically it is. And for someone like me that never feels safe and is always panicking about everything, like always feels like someone's out to get them because that's how things always seem. It's like, dude, stop doing that. Whoever delivers the mail, like you're either evil or a moron, probably both. I'm so sick of shit. I swear to God, like I'm just so sick of so many things. And it was yesterday and today, two big ass boxes. This happens all the time. So then I have to move them myself off to the side so that I can exit the building. And then I remember one time, like not that long ago, a new resident moved in and I ran into them in the driveway. And a lot of times I will be in a bad mood, but I typically try to be pretty friendly and nice to people. So, you know, like we kind of ran into each other and ended up introducing ourselves and exchanging numbers. And then later on, like a couple days later or something, it was a couple, and I only got the female's number because we were the ones that were primarily talking. And she texted me and she was like, yada yada yada, something something. For whatever reason, she had to park her car in front of mine, and she was like, yeah, I just had to temporarily park slightly in front of your car for whatever reason. I forget what it was. She was like, but if you have to leave early, let me know, you know, because your car is blocked. If you need to get out, just let me know. And I honestly didn't, like, I didn't at that specific time she was mentioning, but when she said that, I was just like, wow, new fear unlocked. Don't ever say anything like that to me ever again. So I just texted her back. I was like, yes, like move your fucking vehicle. Obviously I didn't say it like that. I was like nicer about it, but I was like, oh yes, like I always need to be able to get out of this effing hellhole at any time, day or night. I need to be able to get out of here. Are you effing kidding me? Like never, ever, ever park your car in front of mine. And that's a new fear of mine that I hadn't really thought of up until that point. I'm the kind of person though, I will find a way out. I don't care what I have to drive over. I don't care what I have to do. I will. I usually never like being where I am, and I always want to leave places that I am. So whether it's my apartment, the strip club, just anywhere that I am, I just never tend to want to stay there for very long at a time. But like, yeah, with my apartment, like I hate it so much, but I also am terrified to not be there anymore because there's nowhere else available where I am that I could afford. So I try not to complain about it too much, and I try to just be thankful for it, which I am, but I try to like be mindful to be thankful for it, because the next stop for me from here is probably just being homeless and living out of my car. Like, I hate to say it, I'm gonna try to do what I can to have that not be the case, but I just feel like in my life, all that I've ever been shown is the only options to like get out of that kind of thing is to sell my soul, like just do things I don't want to do, have to rely on guys, and I never want to rely on guys or anyone for that matter. I don't want to have to deal with people. The only time I truly enjoy dealing with people is at the strip club, like conversing with other dancers behind the scenes in the dressing room sometimes, but also especially when I'm on stage performing for people, and especially like strangers that I've never seen before. So there's no weird like psychological, emotional BS from beforehand, you know? Because anytime I'm around anyone else, I feel like I have to perform anyways. But that feeling of having to perform when I'm not on stage and when I'm not performing by dancing, like just performing by like what I say and talking, and like my movements, trying not to be too sexual, not to be too this, not to be too that, just in regular everyday life, that kind of performance I despise. You know, having to hold my body a certain way, not being able to like just let loose, let go, slouch, pick my nose, like have my boobs showing too much, like looking at someone the wrong way, not looking at someone the right way, not knowing how to have eye contact, not knowing what to say, what not to say. The list just goes on and on and on. But basically, whenever I'm around other people, just in regular life, I really cannot stand that type of performance that I feel like I have to put on. Whereas, at least when I'm at work, like on stage at the club, I love performing that way. And I feel like when there's people to